So we've got a total of 5 recipes to try out. Can these recipes still be made up? Are they still effective? Or are they going to cause detrimental effects to my face? I don't know about you, but I'm kind of curious to find out. I did it for science. I have come across a text. It's called Beauty Culture, and it's written in 1911, although in the text he states that this is a compilation of recipes and tips and tricks that have been in practice for decades by this time. So there is an entire section on the process of skincare, and I thought, you know what, they give us enough various different recipes and tips and tricks that I could probably put together a fairly plausible skincare routine based on the recipes given in this book. I do have many questions about this, considering the amount of ingredients involved in this process and the amount of things that I had to buy in order to make this happen. But some of these items I had to source from proper, scientific chemical suppliers, because, it's not something that you can find on Amazon. Everything that is being used in this video is safe to apply to the skin as per the knowledge of the 21st century. We have omitted the recipes and the ingredients that are most definitely harmful. I will disclaim that professionals have been consulted in the making of this video, so if one is planning to go forth and test out historical recipes on a whim, please don't do that. Do definitely get the proper consultation that one will need. This book itself gives you that very same warning, in that all recipes for skin lotions and other preparations, wherever these are published, should be specifically examined to see if there is responsible expert authority for their safety, as irredeemable harm may result from their use. But as you can expect, things are about to get a little bit messy in this establishment. So before we get started, we need to have a quick word with Maintenance Bernadette. Maintenance Bernadette, paging Maintenance Bernadette, we have a cleanup in the workroom. We deal with a lot of unusual messes here, from wool dust and ancient machine grease to benzoin and magnesium carbonate. Thankfully, we have Blueland sponsoring this video and helping to keep the workroom in tip-top shape. Blueland's sustainability-oriented cleaning and soap products have been wonderfully convenient and effective against both my 19th century and 21st century surface disasters. Even better, products are sourced from clean ingredients and made without single-use plastics, so I can enjoy not consuming unnecessary plastics while saving money with Blueland's $2.25 refill tablets. Because herein lies the magic. Blueland products are delivered to you in dissolvable tablet form, reducing the need for large disposable packaging. Simply fill your reusable bottle with some warm tap water, drop in a new tablet, and it's ready to use in minutes. Today we are taking advantage of the Clean Essentials package, containing a surface, glass, and bathroom cleaner, all of which saw much use during the making of this video. Click the link below to get 15% off your first kit if you wish to try some products out for yourself. And now, let's go make a mess. So we've got a total of 5 recipes to try out. There are plenty of recipes in here that could be followed. Some of these are also just based on what ingredients we are still able to obtain in this here 21st century. So after placing a rather large and extremely suspicious order on Amazon for the 27 different ingredients that we need to make this happen, we are finally in a position to make all of these things. Let us begin. So the first item on our list today is a skin food. The first thing on the list, however, is this item called benzoinated lard, which is not a thing that you can find still nowadays. However, I have found instruction for how to make it. The other thing here is that this says it needs 1.5 pounds of benzoinated lard, which I ordered and then realized that 1.5 pounds of lard is going to make an absolutely preposterous amount of this skin food, which I probably won't use. So we're thirding the recipe. So because we have 250 grams of lard, I'm going to crush up and weigh out 5 grams of benzoin resin. This, it sounds like, gets heated and blended together. So, onward. benzoinated lard is obtained. So the next thing is we need half a pound of lanolin, or a third of a half of a pound. Okay, what is 1/3 of 1/2? Good, 1/6 of a pound. This is why we don't actually live in the 19th century. Minor diversion aside, 75.5 grams of lanolin. I dislike this stuff. I never want to see this ever again. If you've never touched lanolin, don't. So the next item on our list is white wax, and we need 37.8 grams of this. I'm using some old white beeswax candle stubs. Probably would have been available in the period as well. I'm just gonna grate these up. Oh, we're not even close. Oh my God, how much wax? Oh my God, finally, okay. I have aged 5,000 years in this process. And finally, for this recipe, we've got 1/4 of an ounce of boric acid. Good, okay. Okay, and the final ingredient is perfume to suit. They don't say how much or what, so I'm going to put in a little bit of this rose water just to suit. I can see why they want the perfume, considering we've got lard and benzoin, both of which don't smell very nice. So what I'm gonna do now is I think I'm going to go put this back on some heat just to get the wax and the lanolin to just meld a little bit more. Okay, we are in a liquefied state. Wow, okay. So we have quite a bit of skin food. So the next recipe on our list for today is skin cleaner, which I assume is just like a cleanser. It looks like we have a lot of alcohol in this, so it is definitely going to be antibacterial. It is going to clean the face, that is for sure. The first ingredient we have is acetone, and we need 4 grams of this. Now, thankfully, we are in the realm of liquids. Okay, good. Boric acid, and we need 2 grams of this. Oh, this is pungent. I see why, once again, they are asking us to use perfume in this. Okay, boric acid, 2 grams. It's a lot of grams, okay. Alum, 20 grams. This is a ton of ingredients. To be fair, this book is written as if it's speaking to people who are intending to potentially set up their own beauty salon, so theoretically these sort of potions would be mixed not in the home environment, but it's not saying that these couldn't be done at home. Next ingredient on our list is alcohol, 5 grams. I'm using, this is isopropyl rubbing alcohol, 99.9%. That seems about right. Eight ounces of water, good. That's very straightforward. Ooh, my, this smells very alcoholic. So my next question is, can one get inhalation drunk on rubbing alcohol? Knowing me and my track record, if it's possible, we will find out. And finally, a little perfume to taste, to suit. Okay, yes, that makes more sense. Good, maybe this will smell slightly less appalling. Oh, whoa. Okay, the rose helps. So this is a purely scientific question, and I'm in no way implying that this has happened, but can one theoretically get inhalation drunk on rubbing alcohol? I'm not drunk, by the way, but I'm just hypothetically curious.
Yes, what the is wrong with you? Oh my god. Just go outside and take some deep breaths and reevaluate your life decisions.
Anyway, thanks for answering my question. That helps a lot. Thanks. Okay, bye. Oh, okay. We have more of this than we have jar. Okay, before I thoroughly inebriate myself, we have our skin cleanser. Okay, good enough. The next item on our list is a face powder, otherwise known as a pure face powder, because goodness knows we do not want something impure. The first item on our list is 8 ounces of rice starch. So I'm gonna quarter this recipe because this is already quite a lot. And we need the same of the rice starch. Oh no. You know, this project is really wonderful for finally vindicating my instinct to save every single glass jar that I have ever come across. Orris root, finely powdered, and we need 1/2 ounce. Orris root, good, powdered, fine. Magnesium carbonate, we need 1 ounce. Good. And to top this all off, 10 drops of lavender oil. Good. Okay. Good. All right, we have an absolute ton of face powder now. Just don't know what we're going to do with all of this, but I guess some of it's going in here. All right, onward. Oh my god, I have so much cleaning to do. Okay, our next recipes are fairly straightforward. So this one is going to be a moisturizer specifically formulated for dry skin. No, I'm not looking forward to this lanolin again. It took me like 15 minutes to scrub this so that it didn't want to stick to everything. We need 1 ounce of everything except 2 ounces of the rose water. So 1 of cocoa butter. Oh my. Guess it'll moisten. Ooh, it really is melting. Wow. Okay, yeah, so fine. Good enough. We need 2 ounces of this. And 1 ounce of glycerine. Okay, 1 ounce of the old lanolin. See, but I'm not sure that I want this on my face. This stuff is just aggressive. You know what, we're gonna call that 1 ounce, because you know what? I think I'm gonna try and put this on some heat. That way, get things melting and maybe some of this rose water evaporating. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do. Okay, so this has separated. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. So the final recipe that I'm going to be testing out and making today is a concoction to reduce puffiness in the eyes. I've never actually paid attention to the puffiness in my eyes, so I don't actually know if I will be able to tell if it has reduced or not, but we're gonna give this a go and we're gonna see if miraculously I suddenly do not appear tired. Anyway, this is a very simple recipe, only requiring 2 ingredients, tannic acid and vegetable glycerine. So we need 20 grams of this. And that gets matched with 1 ounce of glycerine. Okay, so this is kind of pasty. Good, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, this jar is slightly too large, but that's fine. I guess that's that. Okay, so it is evening time. We are here now ready to begin the evening section of these experiments. I will be doing this twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. This begins washing the face. The correct method of cleansing the face is to cleanse it thoroughly at night. The reason is obvious, apparently. Whether at work in the factory or store or following outdoor duties, there remains the fact that much exposure results in the accumulation of dirt, dust, all kinds of germ life, and other impurities too numerous to count upon the skin and parts of the body exposed. But it's really interesting that this is the clientele that they're expecting from these products. They're expecting working women, women who have very physical and potentially very grimy jobs to be coming into these salons. So this presumably is a routine that would have been done at night at home. So this is not being done in the salon. To fully carry this out, have the patron use a neutral, clean soap such as white Castile. Got it. This should be applied to the face with a fine camel's hair brush dipped into fairly hot water. I've put this into a bowl because I'm presuming that we are not necessarily doing running tap water, especially in the working woman's home. In regards to a camel hair brush, this is what I was able to find in this here 21st century. It is what appears to be a paintbrush, and I'm not 100% sure that this is thoroughly accurate, but here we go. There's no picture of how to do this, so we are watering and soaping this. Smells nice at least. Okay, I'm very soapy now. The soap is then rinsed off with clean, tepid water. The addition of a few drops of tincture of benzoin to the rinsing water gives it a slight aromatic odor. And it says on the bottle, moisturize and protect. Okay, well that sounds good because I'm feeling very crusty right now. This brush just feels so satisfying. I could just do this all night. Okay, I feel clean. Now that my skin is washed, I'm going to go over with this skin cleaner. This is the very alcoholic substance that sounds like it will definitely clean the face, but will also very much dry it out. This is a step that I will probably only be doing at night. Wow, that's like putting straight nail polish remover on my face. I feel like this isn't a good thing. We shall see. I did it for science. I'm once again feeling crusty. Okay, then I'm gonna go over with this skin food. This is the stuff with the lard in it. I haven't been keeping this in the fridge, but it doesn't smell bad. It's actually turned out very nice, very much sort of lotiony. If I wasn't aware of the fact that this is like lard and boric acid, I think I would actually be more enthusiastic about it. It is behaving very much like a lotion, which is good because I feel like I need some moisture.
Moisturize me.
So the other thing that you probably should do that I did not do is patch test this, just in case something goes horribly wrong. You don't inflame your entire face. Don't be like me. Okay, I am no longer feeling crusty. In fact, I'm feeling very, very greasy now. And for the final step of the evening, I will be finishing off with this specifically for dry skin, although at this point now, I feel like I've joined the oily club. I am very, very moist. It has, as you can see, completely separated. I'm not sure if this is water down here and it's just trapped under this layer of what actually does feel like a pretty decent moisturizer texture. This is just the cocoa butter and, you know, it's, as one would expect, something very, very greasy. Okay, I am very, very moist now and I think it is time for bed. Hopefully I still have a face when I see you again in the morning. Pro tip, do not use colored towels to apply the skin cleaner because the alcohol, it turns out, will ruin your towels. Good morning. We are back. It is the morning. I have not died, which is always good news. Whatever I did last night was actually, I feel like, so far really effective. I'm feeling so soft today, which is really promising. We shall see how this persists going forward. In the morning, the face may be washed as in the evening, but less thoroughly. The use of a fine face cloth should take the place of a flesh brush. A tablespoon or two of fresh almond meal is added to the first rinsing, which adds a luxury to the process. Okay, almond meal, by the way, is just some crushed almonds, so I have that here. I'm a little bit curious as to how this is supposed to be luxurious, but we are going to go for it. So I also have this concoction here to reduce puffiness of the eyes. Whoa, that smells tanniny. They also instruct for this to be applied with a camel hair brush. So here we go. This feels like syrupy. Interesting. Oh, this is very sticky. I mean, I guess I'll just leave that on. Next up, we have our moisturizer once again. So this morning, I'm not doing the skin food. I'm only doing the moisturizer, and I guess we shall see. I am once again very greasy now. So the final stage in our morning routine is to apply some powder, and I think that will help to absorb some of this very greasiness, which is fine for going to bed, but maybe not so fine for going to your factory job and, you know, having to encounter polite society. Okay, I no longer feel like I have just stuck my face in a pan of grease, but I do now mildly feel like a cake. So here's where we are this morning. I don't think there is much of an extreme noticeable difference, but I do feel nice and moist and also nice and not very shiny. So here we are. I'm about to go about my very 21st century day, and hopefully I don't die. So I didn't die, nor did my face melt off, which all in all, I think I can count as a smashing success. I was low-key expecting to be breaking out a lot, especially considering the amount of oil and powder and product going on my face. Weirdly, had none of that. So that was a nice, pleasant surprise. My face has never in my life been so moist, to the point where it was almost too moist at certain points. For the entirety of this week, I just sort of had this film of shininess upon my face. And some of it could be reduced with the powder, and that definitely helped during the day, especially since they advised to put the powder on in the morning. But I was not able to wear enough powder to properly absorb the moisture without it feeling cakey. That was a bit of a challenge, and I'm not sure that I solved that. What I found with this routine is that it took so much time. Okay, not objectively. It took about 5 minutes in the morning and about 10 minutes in the evening, because the evening there's more steps. I don't normally spend 15 minutes on my skincare per day. I am, after all, a working woman, a woman of employed means, which I presume, you know, the Victorian working woman would also have a very busy schedule. In fact, she might be equally, if not more busy, probably more busy. Is she spending 15 minutes per day on her skincare? I don't know, maybe she is, but maybe she's not. Would I, as a citizen of the 21st century, continue any of this? That's a good question. I'm not going to continue the full routine just because I don't feel like I have the time, but I actually will probably keep some of these products around. Definitely the moisturizer, this one that is just for dry skin, lanolin, cocoa butter, glycerine, and rose water. This was extremely effective, and I feel like this is a very useful tool to have, especially in the depths of the winter months. You know, my skin is the softest probably it has ever been. The moisturizer itself just stays on for ages and is a fantastic substance. But the skin food with the moisturizer was just, it was so much. I would probably cut that step out and just save that for the 1 or 2 nights a week that I have the energy and time to be doing that at night. Personally, I'm a vegetarian. I'm not the biggest fan of like putting lard on my face. Can definitely vouch for its efficacy, but personally it's not something that I prefer to keep in my daily routine. Remedy for eye puffiness, that was a really interesting substance. So I only ended up doing that every other night. And I probably could cut that down to, again, once or twice per week if I'm, doing one big skincare routine. I'm genuinely not sure what effect it had, if it had any, or if it's something that takes like months or a lifetime to really like see an effect of. But this stuff absolutely stays on your skin. The skin cleanser, I mean, I have nothing averse to say to that. I think it did its job. It definitely did the cleansy thing. You could smell the alcohol. It was definitely very drying, so I would do this in the evenings. Once again, I did that every night, just because, I would cleanse my skin every night, and the Victorian, who is working in a factory, probably would take that step as well. So that was not very time-consuming or in any way prohibitive to the nightly routine. And then, of course, the face powder. I'm not sure that I will go through this much face powder ever in my life, but might keep some around just in the occasional emergency that one perhaps needs some face powder. I can't imagine when or why that would be, considering I have gone several decades of my life without needing emergency face powder, but I guess it can't hurt to have some. Therein lie my conclusions on our Victorian skincare adventures. These all I have had successful results with, but as once again is disclaimed in the text, various skin types and various people have various results with various products. So, do with your skin as you will. Bye. See you next time.